Got a few more minutes before we start. Hopefully you can hear me okay on this mic. Got about a minute, so if you're just joining me, you're going to need 2 blocks and a blanket for this practice. Or if you don't have a blanket, actually, what would be better is a bolster, if you have a bolster. If you don't, you can get 2 pillows, shove them in one pillowcase and make a bolster, or you can get a really fat blanket and roll it up to where it's a little bolster for you. Okay, so you need either a blanket, a thick blanket rolled up, or a bolster for today's practice. And 2 blocks. You may not even need the 2 blocks, but they'll be there in case you need it. All right, so we'll be starting in about a minute. Today we're going to be reviewing the bladder and the kidney meridians. So just so you know, I'm getting a lot of my information from this book called The Web That Has No Weaver. It was recommended to me by my teacher, Josh Summers. I also took a 50-hour module with him on Chinese medicine. So that is where my knowledge is coming from. I am not an acupuncturist. I do get acupuncture regularly, but this is where my knowledge is coming from. So if you're wondering why I'm reading from a book, it's because I don't have it all memorized, but that's part of this challenge for me, is I wanted to dive deeper into it myself as a student. So the bladder meridian, just so you know, it starts at the inner side of the eyes and it ascends across the forehead to the vertex of the head. From this point, a small branch splits off and enters into the brain, while the main meridian continues to descend along the back of the head and the back of the neck. And then it goes into the base of the neck, parallel to the spine. A branch splits off, entering the body in the lumbar region and connecting to the kidney and its pertaining organ, the bladder. So here's a picture from the book. This meridian goes all down the back body. So any forward folding that we're doing, we're going to be accessing that bladder channel. And the bladder is the yang channel and the kidneys are the yin channel. The kidney channel, as you can see from the picture, goes down the front of the body and also to the inside of the thighs, the inside of the legs. So when we're accessing, when we're doing any inner leg stretches, we're accessing that channel, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you want to learn more about these channels, you can definitely check out this book. I'll put a link to this book in the description so you can find it easily. And anyway, let's get started. So we're going to start in butterfly. So take the soles of your feet to touch, your knees out wide. Here's where you might want your blocks. If this is too intense for you, or you just want to take it a little easier, you can take more of a restorative yin pose by placing the blocks underneath the knees. You don't have to do that. It does make the sensation not as deep, so please look for that mild sensation. And then we're going to grab our bolster or your thick blanket and place that along your spine. Then lower down, resting down on this bolster. If you want to add to this, you can take your arms out to the side or cactus your arms out and maybe grab opposite elbows overhead and just let your elbows hang back. You decide. So here we're getting into both channels in a way because we're working into the lumbar region of our back and then also the inner thighs. So this is a great pose to access these channels. And with the arms out wide, you're also getting into the lung meridian. So start to notice your breath here. Play around with the position of your feet. Closer together is usually more sensation. Further apart, further away from your body is usually less sensation. So you decide what you'd like to feel today. And then notice the breath coming in and out of the nostrils. Hopefully, you can breathe through your nose. Notice if the breath is smooth or rough. Maybe the breath is long or maybe it's short. And you can tell yourself that as you breathe in, you can tell yourself, I am breathing in, or this is a short breath, this is a long breath. Just really getting into the breath and noticing what it's like at this moment. Relax the inner thighs as much as you can. Soften the hips, soften the belly. Relax the jaw. Try to become still in the pose. And then from here, you'll slowly bring your hands down by your side. Close your knees for a moment. Walk your feet about mat distance apart, just wider than your hips. Let the knees cave in and send the knees side to side. Just taking a slow windshield wiper with the knees, allowing the tissues to return, to creep back to their natural state. Noticing the yang movement within the yin. And slowly come up. From here, we're going to extend the legs out. So if you need to turn on your mat to the long edge of your mat, we're going to come into dragonfly pose. So wide enough with your legs to where you feel a sensation happening in your inner thighs. If you have tight hamstrings, I recommend sitting up on your blanket or your bolster. And that's just going to help elevate the hips so that you can access the pose a little bit easier. Your blocks can come out in front. Rest your elbows on when you're ready. So sit up tall and fold forward. If you want, you can rest your elbows on your blocks or just, rest your head in it or your head in your hands. If you want to come lower, you can round the back and rest the forehead down onto the forearms. If it bothers your back to round your back, just keep your spine straight and hinge at the hips. So listen to your body. If you have any herniated discs, I recommend just keeping that spine straight. So really try to relax here. Soften the thighs, soften the kneecaps, relax the inner thighs, soften the belly to help you round. if you're able to round. If you are rounding, then tuck your chin to your chest and just really flex the spine here. Just really round down. Again, try to become still. And coming back to the breath, notice the breath here. Is it any different than the last pose, or is it the same? And start to feel through the breath in and out, like the body of the breath. Start to notice the beginning of the breath, the middle of the breath, and the end of the breath. What is it like in the beginning, the middle, and the end? And slowly rise up. Straighten out your spine. Take a deep breath in. Long breath out. Good. Bring the legs together slowly. And we're going to roll to our belly and take Sphinx pose. So you might want to block for your head. If you have any issues with laying on your belly, or if you have low back pain, sometimes it helps to take a blanket underneath the sacrum or the pubic bone. So that's what I'm going to do. And then take the elbows out somewhat underneath the shoulders, hands out, arms out like the number 11. And we're going to relax the back body here. So if you want to take the feet wide, you can try that, or the feet together. If this is too much sensation, you can take your elbows out wider a little bit. If you need more sensation, straighten the arms and walk the arms into the body for seal pose. So if you have a block nearby, you can keep it there for your head if you'd like. You don't have to. We're going to start with the chin up. So looking up, kind of draw the shoulder blades together on your back, but then relax. Soften the back body. Relax the glutes, the hamstrings, the calves. And bring the chin down, just neutral. Pull the chin back like you're Going to make double chins on your neck here. So pull the chin back and then drop the right ear toward the right shoulder. Getting a little neck stretch here. And bring the head back to center. Hold the chin back. Drop the left ear toward the left shoulder. And bring the head back to center. Take some gentle, slow head circles. Noticing all the crinkles, all the sensations, and then reverse the circles, nice and slow. And come back to center. If you wanted to rest your forehead down on a block, you can. Or if you want to try pinching the inner corners of your eyes, since we're working on the bladder and kidney channels. And remember, that's a pressure point if you watched yesterday. You can try pressing on that pressure point there. And then from here, we'll release and come down onto your belly. Cross your hands at the top of the mat. Rest your forehead on the back of your hands for a prone shavasana. Fully relax down from the head to the toes. Take 3 long breaths. And please stay here in Shavasana for at least 3 to 5 more minutes. But for the sake of time, I will have to end the video here. I hope that your kidneys and bladder feel nice today after that. And I hope to see you tomorrow for the next challenge video. Thank you for joining me. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.